I'll admit that Shannon and I were standing in the background in the bathroom all by ourselves a little while ago, reminiscing, saying, can you believe this has really happened, that we have this organization that's grown to this size? And it's just kind of baffles both of us, and we're really happy about that. Oklahoma City had a gala there last month, and so tonight is our chance to recognize all the great Tulsa companies that are a part of this organization. And the people in this room are the people we celebrate tonight. And as it talked on the videos about our guiding principles, the one tonight that we're going to really exhibit is honor. That we want to honor all of you that are sitting here tonight, because you all are the ones that make a difference. You are the ones who make this an ethical business community. And that's why Shannon and I first started this, was we wanted that to be seen in the world instead of it be the companies we all hear the bad stories about. We all know by exhibiting the people sitting in this room that there are many wonderful business people. And that's why we're here tonight. And I just want to tell you that thank you for being here. And so many of the people that are involved in this organization are also my friends, and we become each other's friends as a part of this, and we met through this organization. So first off, I want to applaud you all for being here. And as I'm a very time-sensitive person, so I don't want anybody stressing out that we're going to be here for hours on end having to sit through long and laborious presentations. We will be out of here, I promise you, we will be out of here by 7:15, if not earlier. So no one panic that they will be home late tonight. So that's one of the best things I'm probably saying to some of you. So I want everybody home safe and sound. Yay! Okay, yeah, I saw you clapping over there. And what I want to do next is I'm going to introduce our next person to come front is Doyle Payton. He is our Chief Ambassador Extraordinaire, our greeter, and Doyle is going to sing Oklahoma, and I bet you he wants us to all join in with him. So Doyle, come on up. There he is.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm old, so I need a cheat sheet here. I know the words, but I need to help sometimes for it, yeah, to deal with it. If you would stand with me, I'm going to sing the verse of Oklahoma. Sometimes we've never heard that very often. Brand new state, gonna treat you great. Gonna give you barley, carrots, and potatoes, pasture for your cattle, spinach and tomatoes, powers for the prairie where the June bugs zoom, plenty of air and plenty of room to swing a rope. Plenty of heart and plenty of hope. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oklahoma, every night my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. You know we belong to the land, and this land we belong to is grand. And when we say, yeah, yeah, you know we're saying we're doing fine. Oklahoma, Oklahoma, okay. Yes. That was fun. Thank you very much. You may be seated.
I'm Colin Schoonover. I work for One Oak and One Oak's distribution companies, and I'm also on the board of the Oklahoma Business Ethics Foundation. And I'm honored to be able to represent the board and my company, and I thank both of them for allowing me opportunity to participate in the board's activities. One of my focuses is outreach to college campuses, and in particular I've been able to work with the business or the ethics Challenge Ethics Bowls in the last 3 years. So I would like to introduce representing Tulsa University, one of our finest chapters in the state, Dr. Tracy Manley, and one of her students, Erica Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. I'm sure it's no surprise to most of you that in business colleges across the country, there's an increased emphasis in teaching business ethics. And as an educator, when I attend meetings, we discuss and wrestle with a number of questions, beginning with one of the most fundamental ones is, can we teach business ethics to adult learners who have already developed a lot of their moral understanding? And then if you say, yes, we think there's some space here, we can teach it, and then we think about, well, how do we do that? Do we teach them just how to recognize issues? Do we focus on decision-making models? There are cases where you focus on scripting, and when you face certain dilemmas, be prepared with how you might address those and how those conversations would go. And then we also wrestle with, when we're working with students who don't have a lot of professional experience, how do we convince them that this is important and that this is just as important as understanding your financial principles and your HR principles? And that is where I want to thank Lynn and Shannon and all of you in the room, because as a faculty member at the University of Tulsa, it's really easy for me to say this is important. Look downtown every third Thursday of the month, and the most notable business leaders in our community are getting together to not talk about scandals and what went wrong, but about how can we be better and how can we do this better and how is your career going to flourish, because you're going to be a person who works in your career with principles, and the principles that you gather and talk about every month. And so I'm not forced to come up with a way to convince students at the University of Tulsa that this is going to be important to them, because I want to thank you because you've already done that for me. And I want to introduce you to one of our finest students, Erica Johnson. She actually competed in the ethics competition this year, and she's going to give you a little bit of a firsthand vision of that as well.
Good evening. When Lynn asked me to speak tonight, I was excited about the opportunity to share about the student ethics case competition. However, I was especially excited about the opportunity to say thank you to this organization. In a world where ethical values are increasingly imperative, it can often seem as though these values are not emphasized as much as is warranted. By supporting the case competition, the Oklahoma Business Ethics Consortium creates an important opportunity for students to learn about ethics and their importance. I personally developed a much deeper understanding of ethics by preparing for and competing in the competition. Beyond this, it provided a fantastic opportunity for myself and the other participants to develop other skills such as public speaking and working in teams. As a direct result of your sponsorship of this event, both financially and with so many business leaders offering up their time and expertise, young business professionals, future business leaders, are given the opportunity to establish ethics as an important part of a successful career. We are benefited for this. I have benefited from this. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Erica. It's always humbling to talk after a college student, because that's our future right there. So instead, you get this kind of old guy here who started with my I went to the third meeting of OK Ethics because I had just moved to the city. Of course, I was looking to network and so forth and so on. And of course, what I got was a whole lot more. This organization's very special to me, not only due to the mission, which we talked about, the involvement with the college students, which is so important, but because there's so many wonderful people with this organization. The people that I have met with OK Ethics, their unwavering commitment to doing the right thing, to promoting ethical business, and just in general being really good people is why OK Ethics is particularly special to me. You know, I've belonged to many professional and social organizations, and over the last 20 some odd years, I've been in the professional business world. And I can assure you, at least from my opinion, this organization stands above and beyond all others. So I want to thank all of you in this room that have made OK Ethics possible. and for your membership. I want to thank a couple people that couldn't be here. Rob Martinick, who I was glad we got to see him on the video. Very special individual, very prominent person at Bama who supported our organization. And John Stankiewicz, who also couldn't be here tonight. And then our leadership in Oklahoma City. A few of them are here. They've helped make this organization great. So now I get the honor and the privilege of awarding our Pinnacle Honor, which is our highest level of membership, to the Bama companies. The program that we have in front of you outlines the special commemorative piece that was developed for our Pinnacle Award members. So I encourage you to look at that. It tells you about the inspiration and the history behind that. But Bama Companies has been a strong supporter of OK Ethics since 2005. They were a Compass Award winner in 2007. As I mentioned, Rob Martinick has been extremely involved in the growth of the Tulsa chapter, but also at the state board level, where he has served as legal counsel and the spirituality chair for OK Ethics. He had a personal family matter to attend to. Like I mentioned, he couldn't be here. But there are many members of Bama here, as there are at every one of our lunches, so it's wonderful to have them here tonight. We have a couple volunteers, David Christie and Alicia Goodlow, who've been particularly active the last few years. And Alicia Goodlow is here tonight to present, or to accept their award for Bama Companies of the Pinnacle Member Award level. So thank you, Bama Companies. While she's walking up, I'll mention, please, all award recipients, after you get your award, which, thank you. Please proceed to the back, and we'll do the pictures right after the awards are presented so that you can leave immediately after. Of course, everyone's welcome to visit, but we want to go ahead and get the pictures done. So as you receive awards, go ahead and go to the back to have your photo made. Before Michael Onk, another former president of OK Ethics, presents an award, we would like to have Marcia McLeod, who's a senior vice president at WPX Energy, to come up and say a few words about OK Ethics from their perspective. So thank you.
Well, when Lynn asked me if I would say a few words of why WPX Energy felt that OK Ethics was such an important organization to be a member of, to be active in, to support, I was delighted to accept your invitation, because it's something that's very, very important to the core of our culture. And that is, we can't do business, and we can't make money, and we can't help our shareholders unless we're ethical. And because our business is built around having a strong, trusting bond between our investors, our employees, our shareholders, and our landowners, and everyone else that we do business with. If our word is not our bond, we can't be in existence. When I was thinking about what does ethics mean in the business world, I tried to do some word association, and a couple of things came to me. First of all, integrity, and then managerial courage. Integrity is something I think that, you're not sure how it all comes about. Is it your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your community, your faith? But something happens when you're growing up and informing your thoughts about how to deal with the world. You develop integrity. But then managerial courage is something else. Managerial courage is, how do you put your integrity in action? And as all of you know and have been in business, that's not always the easiest thing to do. You may know what is right, but you don't know how to make the right decisions, to make the right thing happen, and to stand up when you know something wrong is happening. And so what OK Ethics does, it provides a forum for people to develop managerial courage. You have to have instruction, you have to have practice, you have to have friends, you have to have colleagues, you have to have someone you can pick up the phone and call and say, I'm in this situation, how do I deal with it? Because it takes more than just integrity. It takes having the courage and having that group that will help you know how to react upon that. So, Lynn, the rest of you all, congratulations. At WPX, we truly value our sponsorship. We truly value being at your meetings monthly. We value what you do for our employees and what you do for the Oklahoma community. So thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Mike Lonk. I'm a past president of the Tulsa chapter and been involved not quite as long as Nick, but for a long time. We have certainly moved around as an organization in terms of our meeting places. Started out at the Summit Club, ended up at the Tulsa Medical County Society building, and now we're downtown to be close to many of our members. But that has been quite a journey, and it's amazing that we've 10 years has gone by pretty quick. But You know, it's interesting, a lot of the previous speakers mentioned that Lynn asked them to speak. I don't recall being asked. I think she told me I had to speak. It was something I signed up for when I was president. Thanks, Lynn. But I have the honor of recognizing our Navigator members, and we're going to start with WPX. And Marcia, your company, we certainly appreciate WPX's involvement and membership and support. In fact, they're one of the only a few companies that hasn't been asked to participate. Upon formation of the company, WPX signed up as a Navigator member right out the gate, didn't have to be asked, and said, absolutely, that's what we want to do. So, Marcia and WPX, we certainly appreciate your high level of support, your ongoing support, and your support from day one. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The next company that we'd like to recognize at the Navigator level is the Williams Companies, who have been longtime supporters of our organization and have been always have people at our meetings, always have a lot of attendees. One thing that's interesting to note about the Williams Companies is that originally they had one of our mid-tier memberships and had Robin Ewing at a meeting to speak, and when she was looking at the different membership levels and where Williams was, immediately said, now why are we not a top supporter of this company? And I think the next day they were. And since then they've been a Navigator member. We always have a lot of friendly faces, have a table here tonight. Now did Kurt Carmichael make it in? If not, I'm going to ask Dan Doyle to come up to accept the Navigator honor for Williams Companies. Thank you very much. And last but not least, at the Navigator level is ONEOK, one of Tulsa's premier companies and whose presence is felt both here in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City. ONEOK was at the outset of helping found the Tulsa chapter and their charter members. They've provided a significant amount of support to our growth here in Tulsa. We have especially a lot of involvement from Neil Lehman and Carrie Mullins. They've been consistent volunteers and are always present at many of our activities. Additionally, Colin, who spoke earlier, serves on the foundation and has been very instrumental with the Student Ethics Bowl. ONEOK is a past Compass Award winner and also Community Impact Award recipient. And we are pleased to have the backing of ONEOK. I believe Neil's here tonight to accept on ONEOK's behalf. Thank you, ONEOK, and Mr. Lehman and Carrie Mullins.
And as educators, we teach courses in ethics, we teach ethics in most of our courses, and we try and develop a foundation for the students before they go out in their professional careers. But if they don't go out into the community and go out into the workplace and find organizations who really have instilled a culture of ethics, what little plants we started at TU are just going to wither and die. So to all the people in the Oklahoma Business Ethics Consortium and all of the member companies that come to these luncheons, you are what really make a difference in our students' lives, and so I want to thank all of you. Okay, I'm back on script. Before we present the STAR member honor, I've been asked to have you take a look at the OK Ethics trivia. It's on the last page of the program. There's a lot of questions, kind of interesting things about the organization, and we're not going to go through them right now. We're going to move on with the program. But if you look at number 6, it says, where was the #1 ethics competition held? And so a lot of you may not have known that was actually at the University of Tulsa in 2005. And it was just a University of Tulsa event that year. And then the next couple of years, they opened it to the state, and now it's grown into what now is the statewide competition. And so read through those as the rest of the program's going on. We also provided the answers, so you won't be in suspense trying to figure out what happened. Okay, now on to the STAR member honor. Career Development Partners is the first Tulsa chapter STAR member. Rick Christensen was one of the early adopters of OK Ethics and hosted the first planning session, and he has been a familiar face around OK Ethics for many, many years. Travis Jones made a major commitment by joining this year at the STAR level, and his encouragement and volunteerism is already evident in the organization. So Rick Christensen is accepting the award for Career Development Partners tonight. Come on up, Rick. Thank you. going to move on now to the Horizon Honors, and I'd like to ask Neil Lehman from One Oak to come up and make that presentation.
Thank you very much. Okay, hi, I'm Neil Lehman, and I'm really pleased to be here tonight. We have 4 companies that we're going to honor with the Horizon Award tonight. The first is the Roland Group, and Lynn Flynn joined the company in '06. And as I recall, Lynn took the initiative to start the Tulsa chapter of OK Ethics. And I have really enjoyed getting to know her in my short time with the organization. Not only has the Roland Group supported our organization, but they have graciously hosted every meeting of the OK chapter. And additionally, James Kelly with the Roland Group is vital to our OK Ethics as our membership chair. And we want to thank the Roland Group for all they've done. Lynn, would you be so kind as to receive the honor? Our next honor goes to the Cherokee Nation businesses. They have been a member of our chapter for many years, having come to us through Doyle, and who served as with the Cherokee Nations until his recent retirement. We are pleased to have them as members, and Doyle, wonderful job on the song. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Price Waterhouse has been a consistent member for a number of years and has raised their membership level several times. We appreciate the role that Tommy Campbell has played in leading their membership growth and their attendance at our meetings. Tommy, would you please come up and accept the Horizon honor? Congratulations. Thank you very much. Our last honoree, Google, arrived in Pryor, Oklahoma in 2008 and has been a part of our Tulsa chapter for the last 2 years. We appreciate their support. Unfortunately, we have no folks from Google here tonight, but we would like to certainly offer them a word of appreciation. So, Google, thank you very much. And now I'm going to turn it over to James Kelly, who will be presenting the leading members honors.
Honorees, please stand at your table on 1 foot. To be recognized, remain standing until all honorees have been named. Please hold your applause until all honorees are named. The 1 foot thing was a joke. If anybody wants to try. All right, Brainerd Chemical, Erica Coates. Crow and Dunlevy, Mike Pasowitz. For CCK, Glenn Edelman. Darby, Nick Menden. Dorner Saunders, Bill Riggs. Explorer Pipeline, Amy Ratliff. Gable Gottwalls, Melissa Bogle. Learning Unlimited, they had a company retreat, so they couldn't be here tonight. Linco, Mary Christensen. Mazio's, Lori Selby. Sampson, we would like to honor them too. I don't think we have anybody from there tonight. Stennett and Associates, David Lasacco. VGT, Senior Star, Rocky Goins, sorry. Tulsa Technology Center. And for the University of Tulsa, Dean Gail Sullenberger. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your leading members. Let's take a minute to honor them. If you guys would all proceed to the photo booth for a picture. Any kind of picture you want. Lynn Flynn, Michael Onk, and Shannon Warren will come forward now to honor the volunteers.
Because what we're going to give to our volunteers is this really cool ruler. It's really nice. It's usable and it's beautiful. And you rule. And you have to stay up here, Jan. You don't come up here because I'm going to call your names out. Jan is not following orders. So all the volunteers stand up here, and I'm going to have you raise your hand when I call your name. So that means you need to know your name. Doyle Payden. Here. Raise your hand. We know who he is. He's saying Oklahoma. John Sankavich couldn't be here. He is traveling, but he wanted to send his regards to everyone and say congratulations. Carrie Mullins with One Oak couldn't be here. And then Kevin Kinnemer from the People Group. Laura O'Connor. Raise your hand high. Lisa Ryan. Neil Lehman. Nick Minden from Darby Equipment, who's our past president. Where's Nick? Oh, he's getting his picture. Hi, Nick. Sydney Wilson. Tom Clapfelder couldn't be here. Tom Hilly couldn't be here. Tommy Campbell. There's Tommy from PwC. And Colin Schoonover. He must be back at the back getting his picture made or something. And then Alicia Goodlow and Jan Lobb, both of these two people do heavy-duty registration every meeting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. David Christie, who does all of our treasury work from Bama. Tracy Manley, there she is. And she's not really with the Bama companies. That is a mistake, for full disclosure. She is with the University of Tulsa. I don't think she's changed yet. And then Michael Onk, who you have heard from as a past president. Michael, I can't say enough good about Michael, his past presidency, his facilities, he handles everything. He's a detail guy. Thank you, thank you. And that is special thanks to all of these volunteers. So you may now go to get your picture made. Thank you. Thank you very much. What's that? Yes, you'll be up next. One more quick thing. I want to say a few hats off to some other people. Special people I want to say thank you, which one of them was already mentioned, was Rick Christensen. He was the person who was willing to help us get started and had our first planning session. Royce Kelly from Spirit Bank, who has been a big cheerleader for our organization and early adopter. Sherry Rockwell, where are you, Sherry? Raise your hand. I know you're over here somewhere. There she is. She spearheaded the first student ethics chapter at the University of Tulsa and really got that off the ground. For all your membership and everything that you've done, thank you so much. Ray Landraville, we saw you earlier. Where's Ray? Ray was one of our steadfast early members, great man. Just thank you for your loyal support over the years. And then Shannon Warren, I already mentioned her, but Shannon and Jaleisha have done so much for our organization. And also, I want to mention Bob Byrne, who was up here handing out the awards. Bob came all the way from Oklahoma City, and he is on the foundation board, and he has been a huge support to the entire organization and is on our state board. Thank you, Bob. And I also want to have all the people who were involved in our anniversary gala, would you please stand up? And you're listed in the program. People that have not been mentioned would be Deborah May and Stacy Sprague. Thank you, guys, and all the others have been mentioned. So thank you very much for planning this. This took a lot of work, and you guys all worked hard. So now, turning it over to Jan Lobb to introduce our speaker.
Well, I'm really excited to be able to introduce my friend Phil Lakin. I first met Phil when he became a member of the Rotary Club of Tulsa. When you first meet Phil, you know immediately he's a genuinely sincere, passionate, and devoted man to those things he cares deeply about. It doesn't take long to know what those things are: God, family, the community of Tulsa, serving as a city councilman, a Rotarian, and a Leadership Tulsa graduate, just to name a few. And he's quite passionate about any mountain he can climb. Although known primarily as being a Baylor fan, Phil is also Chief Executive of the Tulsa Community Foundation, which is the largest community foundation in the United States, headquartered here in Tulsa. As of January 2011, it was reported to have approximately $4 billion in assets and to have donated more than $580 million to local charities and government projects. I will let Phil tell you the rest.
I'm just glad she said something about Baylor. Not that we want to bring that up with all the pokes in the room. I'm sure there are a few. Well, I know I only have 10 minutes because I want to stick with the 7:15 exit time so that everybody gets home safely and soundly. So I'm duly impressed with everything that I've heard tonight. In fact, most of the people who have come up here have already given my speech. Because it's ingrained in our hearts and in our souls and in everything that we are, which is great. It's great to be part of a room where we all believe in the same critical things. So congratulations to all of you. If you asked me 10 years ago if I would be surprised that you had 900 members and 200 companies, I would say no. Because we do great things in the state of Oklahoma. I learned early on, whenever I was at the Tulsa Community Foundation, some charitable foundations would come to me and they would say, well, we're going to raise $12 million for our capital campaign, or we're going to raise $15 million. And I thought in the back of my mind, well, good luck, you're never going to make it. Every time they came back and they said, we raised our $12 million or our $15 million. There is no more generous community than Tulsa, Oklahoma. There is no more generous state than the state of Oklahoma. So, I got back home. I went to Jenks High School, but I came back home after being at Baylor and working for Baylor in 1999. And shortly after I returned, I quit uttering those words because everything is possible in Oklahoma. Everything is possible in Tulsa, especially with the kind of people that we have in our state. We're different. We're different geographically. We're different politically. We're different spiritually, socially, ethically. So, ethics are important to us. There are the handshake deals that are out there. In fact, one of the companies recognized here tonight is still working with an international company. Everybody probably is going to that company, but I didn't ask them permission to use their name. But for 50 plus years, they've been working off of a handshake deal. No contract in writing. Their greatest customer is an international company, and they're here based in Tulsa, just based upon that handshake deal. At Tulsa Community Foundation, where I work, what we do is we help individuals with their charitable giving. We help charities become more efficient. But if you think about the transaction that takes place between all of us when we give, it's virtually a handshake deal. You are entrusting your money to us at Tulsa Community Foundation, a charity, or you are entrusting your money to Domestic Violence Intervention Services or Leadership Tulsa or Habitat for Humanity, or you name it, that they will expend their dollars in a professional, ethical way. That what they have done in the past with donors' money is what they will do in the future. And so that handshake deal is an important part of who we are as people, but it's still an important part of who we as Oklahomans are too, because it's not too many places where handshake deals can still take place. We've got a bunch of those things at Tulsa Community Foundation. I hope our attorneys don't know about all those, but I'm completely fine with it because I know I'm going to follow through, and I know the people on the other side of the deal are going to follow through. And it's amazing how many of those things really take place in city government as well. I have to trust the people on the other side of the table from me. So charities are out there. I hope all of you are very involved in charities. I would love to take a survey in the room, but I can't see most of you. But I hope you will take your ethical background and your business skills and apply them on charitable organizations boards, because they need that focus. They need that orientation. So let me brag a little bit more about Oklahoma. Lynn suggested that I tell you just a little bit about the things that we should be proud about in the state of Oklahoma. Certainly we have a lot of things that we shouldn't be known for. The social state of our state is not good. We have the highest incarceration rate among women. We have terrible healthcare access rates. I mean, you name it. We're not very high on the list in very many things. In early childhood education, we do a great job because Oklahomans are responding. But we do a good job in taking care of others because I think it's our eternal mandate to fix what is wrong. So about a year and a half ago, I trademarked the name America's Most Generous City. So Tulsa, Oklahoma can be known as America's Most Generous City. You have to, like call me and I have to give you authority to use it and things like that. But that's from the legal side, okay? I just let you use it. But I want us to use it because I think it says so much about who we are. We have the largest community foundation in the country. I mean, bigger than Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is at $2.9 billion. We're at $4 billion. We've given away, and I know you said, Jan, $580 million. I looked yesterday, $780 million so far. No, sorry, $870 million, which is a big difference. $870 million in about 15 years. That's huge. That's, the city of Tulsa's operating budget, the general fund, is about $250 million. So we've given, 3 or almost 4 times that amount away in the 15 years. That's a mighty big number. But it's not just the community foundation. I mean, we're just a small link in the chain. The United Way is in the top 3% of annual giving, per capita giving, de Tocqueville giving, you name it. Oklahoma City has one of the highest volunteerism rates among all the cities across the nation. Tulsa would be in there as well, but they didn't measure that through Tulsa. They just took the state capitals. We're number 5 in the nation, Oklahoma, 5 in the nation in charitable deductions. 90% of all itemizers give. 8.6% of our discretionary income goes to charity. It's remarkable. So we got bad things happening in the state of Oklahoma, but we take it upon ourselves to do good things about those bad things. That is the spirit of Oklahoma. That is the spirit of Okies. That's what makes us who we are, and that's what makes me really proud. I usually, don't associate with being an Okie. I'm more of a Tulsan, but I'm proud of that thing that we have here. I don't know if it's our faith, our spirituality, our family values, being located right in the center of the country, whatever it is, it's very special. So let me say just a brief thing about business ethics in the 1 minute that I have left. But I was really intrigued by your logo. So I listened to Ed Hearn talk, and I was really intrigued by it because I'm a mountaineer. I've climbed 96 mountains that are over 14,000 feet. And so I know by looking at this logo that everybody is shooting for north, right? Is anybody trying to go south on us here, or west, or east? So the most important aspect of this logo is north. But, okay, so here's the only prop that I have. So everybody knows how to use a compass, right? Kind of. Does anybody in this room know where north is right now? Just think. You can kind of point to it in your head. I know exactly where it is because I prepared for this. So north is right out those doors, okay? Now, if I look at this compass, though, north is going to be a little bit off of where true north is, because in mountaineering or navigating or in a wide variety of other things, you know that there are 2 kinds of norths, magnetic north and true north. Okay, we're about 3 degrees off, 3.3 degrees off here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But that makes a huge difference. And so tie that into ethics, okay? We can use a compass. We can rely on an ethical compass to get us down the road of ethics every day. But that's kind of cheating. That's kind of cheap, and we're going to get lost along the way. In fact, if you use this compass to go straight to the North Pole, we'd go right through the Federal Reserve Bank in Omaha. I totally geeked out on this, and I looked it up on Google Maps, okay? Right through the Federal Reserve Bank. If you're 3 degrees off. Actually, if you're 5 degrees off, you'll be 31 miles to the east, sitting out in like a cornfield in Iowa. Okay, so 5 degrees makes a huge difference. But to the point that Marcia was making earlier while she was up here, you know, we have to be willing in those groups that are going down a track where we know that maybe the most ethical decision is not being made, to reorient the group toward true north. And we've got to know where true north is. The compass is not going to tell us. We can't take the easy way out. So I challenge you to build up those networks, to get super involved, I know you already are, in OK Ethics, because it's your family, your friends, your religion, your peers in this room, your business associates, that when your compass quits working in the further north in the world, your compasses are worthless in Alaska. They don't tell you where to go. Seriously, they don't. But the further north you go, the worse it gets. And that's how it is ethically as well. All the easy stuff is right here in the middle. It's black and white decisions. As you get right to the top on this chart, that's when you get into the gray matter. That's when the decisions get most difficult. So I just challenge you, and I challenge myself too, stay true north. Know the difference between magnetic north and true north. Don't let yourself get pulled off the other direction. So all my best to you. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this, and I can't wait to become a member and involve other people in this too, because we need organizations like yours, because the future of Tulsa and Oklahoma sits in rooms with people like you. So thank you all very much. Congratulations.